But you're so toasty.
It's like Stefan and his gals.
Here's my sunglasses.
Hey guys, can you see us? Hopefully, Dottie's doing her job. So shout. Maybe not. Woohoo!
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay, Lori, awesome. Thank you for we're joining a little early because we want to make sure everything works. We've had Dotty on for hours, I think, getting ready, and we wanted to show everybody our team shirts, which we're like sweating in. And then Nikki reminded us that we had air conditioning, so we actually have it on a little bit in the background, blocking the sun here with the towel. So. First, let me just say Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Woo! We're so excited to start the new year on the boat in the middle of the ocean, not quite the middle. Farther. Okay, middle of the ocean.
That counts.
And also start it with you guys. I think that's super fun to do. And also, if we unexpectedly drop, I think we just want to let everybody know we're fine. We have plenty of food. Everything's fine. We've had a little bits and bobs go haywire today, which is what happens sort of towards the end of a passage. Nikki told us it's normal. So just wanted to sort of start there. So as people are kind of joining in, you guys have anything you want to say to start out?
Well, maybe to share the environment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're about. So today's Monday. Routings have us arriving Thursday night in Martinique. Thursday night, Friday morning. So that's how many days we have left? 3 days. Let's see. Right now,
Hopefully.
Yeah.
This is when we touch wood.
Yeah.
And like right now, we're sailing with the asymmetrical. We have the tack a little on the side, closer to the bow to sail a deeper angle. And the waves and the wind are finally behind us after so many days. So it's welcome and kind of a bit relaxing.
Yeah, someone asked, what's your current AWA? It's 155, right?
It's 125, 130.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't ask me. I'm not on watch yet. Cool. So, it's the sea state is pretty calm. We do have waves behind us. And I don't want to talk about squalls.
No, wait, that's the S word. We don't mention the S word.
Everything's been awesome.
Just to answer code game, yes, no, we're flying the A2, the asymmetrical.
I know.
Yeah.
Does Stefan wear sunblock? No, he doesn't wear as much as he should.
No, I get reminded every day, and
We're a different.
We're all like sunburned here.
It's work in progress.
Yeah, someone says Dottie's on watch.
Yeah, she's doing a good job.
She is right now.
Once that I wasn't her good.
Yeah. A couple people asked about the seagrass. Yeah, it's been pretty gnarly. I mean, we haven't the boat's been fine, just plowing right through it. The Watton Sea, I don't know, might be a little hungover tomorrow after going through it. What do you think?
I mean, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So the hydro generator gets some seaweed into the prop. So every so often we have to raise it. The last couple of days I left it up. This afternoon during the day we decided to put it on, knowing that we'll have Starlink on for a few hours. We'll be live for an hour or so, whatever. So we're taking every energy we can get. But it's not as bad as I thought.
People ask if we do any fishing. Not on purpose. We kick the flying fish off the boat just because we tend to eat beans and plants. So but I imagine the fishing would be pretty epic if you did do deep sea. Have you been on boats before that did fishing while they were sailing? And what'd they catch?
Dorado normally.
Yeah. Cool. Watton C, you should be getting more. The sunlight. Should be getting more sun now too. So is the Watton C necessary?
Well, there is sun during the day, but during the night, the one and C can work. So, and really, I mean, we're drawing on our battery with all the electronics and the cooking. So it just helps us to minimize this. So if we can run it 24 hours a day, it's great. And we've been running it 24 hours a day, except the last couple of days because of the sargassum.
Yeah. Someone asked about the camera gear. Yeah, I mean, we're a total hack on this boat. We use iMovie. I only have about a 2-hour window to do any editing, so I'm just kind of slamming it together. We have a Sony, what is it, a ZV Mach 2 or whatever, and we have a couple GoPros. And then a mic setup, we have the DJI wireless mic, but the last couple days I've just been jamming in a lav because Stefan forgets to set up the wireless mic. So when he goes to record himself at night, sometimes you can't hear him. So it's easier that way. It's just connected. Yeah, so the videos have been fun, I think.
You're using iMovie, yes?
Yeah, iMovie. Yeah. I saw Sailing Gypsy just did a crossing from Canary Islands to Caribbean a few weeks ago, and they caught like 10 Dorado. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Have you hit 100% of the polars without surfing?
We've done pretty well. Polars, I'd say, like we've done really well in the moderate heavy winds, and the lighter winds we haven't, and we've kind of put that down to the swell. Like I think, you know, we're kind of typically those polars and light winds are made in flat sea, so you lose a lot of kind of your momentum and apparent wind when you kind of slam down a wave and stop. So, but yeah, we've done pretty well. Some of the sailing we've really kind of surpassed the polars, I'd say. A lot of the Code 65 sailing, when we're sailing higher angles with the Code 65, we've done well.
Yeah, and the great thing about this trip, because we really sailed all kind of angles and all of our sails except the symmetrical, which we hope to sail in the next day or so. So we've recorded a lot of data, and that's going to become our new polars. So we'll be updating this.
Yeah, the Code 65 has been an amazing sail, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
like,
really, especially on the trip we've had.
Yeah. Maybe you can just describe your view why it's been so effective.
Yeah, for this trip, it's been great because it sails, it kind of like overlaps a lot of the other sails. So it sails a nice wide angle, and it's big, so it flies in lighter winds. We've had a lot of light winds. It sails well on a reach, and because of those light winds, we've kind of had a lot of angles forward of the beam. This is getting quite technical, but yeah, it's just a very versatile sail. And then she also sails up to heavier winds, so we haven't felt so nervous when like we've got, you know, gusts of up to 25. Like you can just sit with it. So yeah,
cool. There's a question for you, Nikki. Code Game asked a question about the triple sail setup we had going on. I said we were kind of still learning the boat, but he asked you, what's the ideal AWA and AWS for the triple sail setup?
I'd say apparent wind angle probably more than 65, 70, and probably less than, like once you start getting anywhere downwind, it's going to start being less effective. So probably more than 100, and at a guess, I'd say it's not that great. I have to say that the jury's still out as to whether it actually gives you much. Like the stay sail on this boat is, I think of it more as like a storm sail, stay sail. It's pretty small. So then you need quite a bit of wind for it to start being that useful, at which point you have quite a narrow window before you're not flying the Code 65 anymore.
Yeah. I think the triple sail setup did more for our mood.
Yeah. It was something to do.
It was really fun and fun to look at.
There was a question from Tom. Will Segolen become an enthusiastic sailor?
It's definitely been fun. Nikki's been having some fun little lessons for me. So it's cool to help with raising and lowering sail. So that's been cool this passage. I would definitely tag along if you want a buddy for like some island hopping. But like long passages like this, I think I might avoid in the future. But it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Seglin is the world record holder for number of books read per year. She just finished 240 books this year, which is just crazy. We were going over our personal stats last night as New Year's Eve was approaching.
And the crossing, as we mentioned, it's not been trade winds at all. So I would say it's been on a challenging side. I mean, it has not been bad weather, but for somebody who's jumping in for a crossing for the first time, I think she's definitely seen quite a different sea state and wind and sail changes. So it's been it's not been like raise a sail 10 days later, 11 days later you are in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and also we shoved her in the bow bedroom of the boat, so the bed bounces around a little bit.
It's always exciting.
Yeah, so she's been napping on the settee here. What's the difference between the Code 0 and the Code 65? You want to take that one?
Nikki, what?
Well, I keep calling the Code 65 the Code 0, but I think it's I think the Code 65 has I think it's bigger on the lower half of the sail.
Yeah.
So Code 0, I think, is typically got like a bit of a shoulder at the top. This is I'm kind of guessing, but I know that's what Code 0 has because it has to comply with sort of measurements and stuff to be in like a spinnaker class versus an upwind sail class. And I think your Code 65, from looking at it, is more of like a massive Genoa than a flat spinnaker.
Yeah.
And it's typically the Outremer owners who select sails. If you go with a jib, then you'll get a Code 0 to complement that. And we went with the stay sail Gen 1 and Code 65.
Yeah, and Outremer just popped in and said the Code 0 is more a bigger Genoa, where the Code 65 is a more versatile Gennaker. There you go.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matthew.
Or whoever that is. Maybe Jim or Celine. Cool. Yeah, and so how many days do you think we have to go, guys? Like 4 days?
3 days. Well, like Thursday night, middle of the night. So 3 days and a few hours.
Yeah, so sorry, there's glare here. Yeah, and we still have like a zillion fresh tomatoes. We have probably 5 or 6 apples that we might fight over. 2 or 3 tangerines and a couple lemons. So in the fruit and vegetable department.
And lots of frozen fruits.
Lots of frozen berries now. We busted into those. We'll have to do some smoothies to kind of burn through those a little bit. Any advice for the O'Kellys for their passage other than to feed the orcas near Gibraltar? Any advice? I mean, we've had the privilege of having Nikki on board, who's very familiar with these boats. So I would say the advice would be, and I think they're getting a skipper, is my understanding. I don't know. But to have someone who understands the boats is just massively helpful. And it'd be great, if they did the crossing. Also, I think more than 2 people certainly helps with the sleep. I think we've been able to get good sleep. We have the night watch in 3 shifts. So that's been pretty good.
What's your advice to do videos while doing shifts, watches?
Don't get too fussy about editing. Just kind of put it up there because I can nitpick it to death. Mostly downwind, downsailing so far by the look of things. So do you get to use the dagger boards much? You want to just comment on that?
Well,
Do you think we've done mostly downwind?
No.
The downwind is like today and yesterday and today. That's the first downwind really.
We did a bit at the beginning. We had like 3 or 4 days at the beginning, which feels like an age ago. And then we've been upwind, but we have used dagger boards a lot upwind.
Yeah, and even downwind, you tend to use them to.
In the heavier winds, at the beginning, we had a little bit of dagger board down because the rudders were working pretty hard. And then when we were sailing upwind, we used them a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like from Outremer says the O'Kellys are getting Mark and Julian until the Canaries and Jean-Marc and Robin for the crossing. Okay, cool.
Wow, they got the dream team.
Yeah. Johnny, get well soon, buddy. We've been following you and hope you're doing well with your recovery.
Yeah.
Friend from Tahoe. Why do you have staggered watches than the same schedule every day? Oh, just to mix things up. I think I mean, I like seeing the sunrise. I like seeing the sunset. I like different times. What do you guys think of that? We kind of get confused sometimes especially when we set the clocks or forget to set the clocks or don't set our alarms right. In my case, Nikki and Segalin have just resorted to waking me up, so that works too. But it's it's fun, right?
No, it's
Mixing
good. I
it
mean,
up.
we're very flexible during the day. It's even though we have like specific watches, people tend to be around helping with different things. Harley's doing the video editing, so yeah, we kind of naturally find our own watch system during the day.
Yeah.
But then, of course, in the end of afternoon, evening, we revert back to the schedule. But yeah, it's been working great.
Nikki's over there having a conversation with George, the autopilot. Which device do you use to download routes and weather? So we talked about this a little bit in some of the videos, but Stefan, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so we have a subscription to a software or an application called Squid, and we download the US model GFS and the European model ECMWF, and we download this directly into a software called Octopus, and it's a navigation/routing software. So that's what we use as our primary navigation system on board. The BNG, we have it in the cockpit, and that's kind of when we're in the cockpit, that's what we use. But when we are night watch and sit in the nav station, we use the computer with navigation software.
Do you have a sextant and a sunstone?
Yeah, that's how we've been navigating the whole time.
Yeah, good stuff. No, we don't. It's something I took a class with Outremer, with Escale Formation Technique. I'm sure I forgot all of it, but I have some notes. So in the future, when we have some time, maybe before we cross the Pacific, will be to buy a sextant and then play with it. But Nikki, you are knowledgeable, yeah?
Yeah, we were talking about how good we all are at it.
I've never used one at sea.
This is a good question. When is Nikki going to be let loose to put you out of your comfort zone? So I'll speak for myself. I've already been letting Nikki loose to put me outside of my own comfort zone. And how do you feel, Segla? I mean, you've been way outside your comfort
I'm
zone.
on watches with Nikki, so I think that sums it up pretty well. Where she'll just get an idea and she goes, 5 minutes, heads up, we're gonna do this new thing. So I get a little lesson here and there, but
I would say
Especially
you've probably been totally
yeah, because
pushed.
at night too, it's like she gets all these ideas when we're going upwind. So
sparky.
it's like dark at night, it's like bumpy, and she goes, "Okay, let's get the new sail up." So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, so Nikki's enthusiastic about sail changes. It's been great because it helps us learn the boat. It helps us learn the maneuvers. But yeah, Segalin's gotten the brunt end
I
of
learned
that.
a lot more than I thought I was going to, so that's good.
Yeah, but I think we're also, you also have the conditions you have, right? So I think earlier we had, more wind, and now the most of the passage has been about, between not counting getting stuck in the wind hole, like between 11 and 15 knots of wind.
Sub 20, 10 to 20.
Something like that, yeah. And so there's only so much we can kind of do in that sense. But I think doing the big sail changes with the big sails, night watch with the A2, and then, in the middle of the night, changing to the code 65. To me, those are pretty good things. I'm not a racer, but I think in terms of cruising, it's probably pretty good. How do you deal with stowaways? Asking for a friend. Yes, that's funny. Have you found GFS or ECMWF to be more reliable? We were just talking about this before we jumped on this call. What do you guys think?
Well, they haven't been in agreement I mean, at a very, very high level, I think yes. But when you zoom in, I don't know, they were quite different, I would say.
We've named them, so Stefan has an affinity to Brittany, I think.
Brittany is the GFS model, and then Nikki likes Antonio,
Yeah.
the European model.
Yeah.
So those are two models. So sometimes they don't get along, they go different paths. Sometimes they travel together. So it's a difficult relationship between Brittany and Antonio.
But they also motor way more than we do. So
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, we haven't motored. We were not going to motor, of course. But even with the light condition, that's been something that's been amazing. And I think people have noticed this. This boat keeps on moving. And I think the boat combined with the sails, like the Code 65 or the A2, it just keeps us moving. So it's been fun.
it's crazy. It's crazy to me. We look at the wind and it's like 7 knots of wind and we're going 5 knots or something. I mean, that's just nuts.
Yeah.
But it's well worth your money
Yeah.
getting
Oh.
getting the right sails and getting enough of them.
We were on the exact same course with another boat. We would have jibed a little earlier, but we decided to get a little closer to say hi. And I mean, we were cruising downwind, I don't know, 8 knots, and they were doing like 4. So we were just like going fast and catching up with them, and took a jibe and saw them in a distance very quickly. So definitely fun to see that. At the time, we were like, oh, we have maybe 4 days left, and those guys probably have another week at least left. So, yeah.
Have you done any videos with the technical setup you have, computer navigation, solar power? No, we haven't done a full, complete debrief on this stuff. We have touched on some things as we were purchasing them in our podcast, Covert Castaway. You can listen anywhere you get your podcasts. But we haven't done any videos yet on those, but we certainly want to once we get to a destination where we can kind of sit and land. Someone said, have you noticed the OFNI, which you just passed without anyone on watch? What's an OFNI? OFNI.
Objet flottant non identifié.
OVNI, the boat?
No, like if you have anything on the water. Oh, flying. Objet flottant.
Oh, I don't know.
It's French, yeah.
Floating.
Okay.
Floating, whatever, on the
Need
water.
translation, please.
Okay. Do you feel that the lack of trade winds is related to a more permanent shift in weather patterns? Oh, I don't know. Any comments? I mean, we're not weather experts, so.
I'll just say that met a person from Turkey in the Canary Islands who's been doing those trips for the past 10 years, and his takeaway, take it for what it is, it's one data point. But he was saying now what used to be the pattern to cross with the trade winds, he feels over the years has delayed now up to 5 weeks. So that was his takeaway on the schedule for the trade winds. Same thing for crossing back the Atlantic the other way around.
Yeah. Oh, UFO. Oh, UFO. That's what
Unidentified floating objects.
okay.
We have not seen any unidentified floating objects. Is that the question?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so, yeah.
Not sure why we're not on Vessel Finder, why it shows we're still in the Canary Islands. But you could go to our website at sailingowen.com, and there's a link that says follow us. And if you scroll down, that's a predict wind tracker. And we emit a signal every hour. So that should be
Yeah, I just checked it today.
Pretty
and
common.
It's correct.
Yeah.
And don't be alarmed. When sailing vessels and small boats go offshore, they all disappear from a vessel finder until they're into range of an AIS station on land.
okay.
Yeah.
Has Nikki been on Covert Castaway? Yes, she has. We did an interview, like
a long
2
time
years ago? Yeah. So when we first met at Outremer Week, I thought it was a great opportunity to have a conversation about learning to sail and
Relationships.
getting more like sailing as a couple,
Mm.
and then getting more women into sailing. Speaking of which, because this is a mostly women's crew, we were looking at our YouTube stats today, and we reached a new milestone, which is 10% of our viewers are women, which is awesome.
10.7. Yeah, we've been below single digits, so it's fun to see more women now joining the channel.
Yeah. Not sure if you mentioned before, but what are your plans after the Miami Boat Show? We're actually on our way to the Bahamas. So we're stopping off at Miami for the boat show and then making our way to the Bahamas for the rest of the season before we head south for the hurricane season. So those are our plans. Do you have a specific island for your leg 2 destination? Any craving for a particular food? So
Nikki wants some butter.
yeah.
She's like, "Do you have more butter?" It's like, "Oh, sorry, we're out."
Yeah.
Any food?
I bought the tub of butter for Jean-Marc too because he wanted it, and then you ate it all. So it's pretty funny. So we're headed to Martinique, and it's great because Outremer has recently opened up a service station. What do you call it? Like a center, a base out of Martinique. So that's going to be really great too to get a couple things adjusted when we come back.
Any food?
Any food you're craving?
Some fresh fruits is always fun. So.
Yeah, but you've been eating fresh fruit, right?
Yeah, but just Martinique.
I think,
The vibe,
like tropical
vibe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think Nikki was sitting at the bar and yesterday, like ordering drinks, and we were kind of picturing being at the beach bar, our feet in the sand, and ordering kind of some cold drinks. I think that's number one thing.
But if you plan to be in Miami, please send us an email at sailingawen@gmail.com. We would love to meet you and answer any questions. And we'd love to show you Awen. She's been just a champ through this passage. I know, I'm so grateful. And the boat is very confident and caring and durable. It feels good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And also, Outremer is putting a seminar. I think it's like a blue water cruising seminar. We will be part of it, and other cruisers that have a lot more experience than us as well. So if you come to Miami, go to Outremer website and register for this seminar.
Do you ever get bored while you're on a long passage like this? I don't. I feel like I'm really busy. But Seglin, what do you think?
I mean,
I want to ask.
Depends when Nikki's up for taking a nap.
That's really funny.
But Seglin downloaded plenty of books. How many books have you read?
Probably around 10 or so since I came.
10
books
in 10 days
Exactly.
or something, or
Crazy.
whatever days we're at. I don't even know.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely is some downtime, which is nice.
Yeah. And I've been cooking and doing the videos, and I feel like I've been pretty busy. Either busy or sleep. What do you think? You've been fixing stuff too and tinkering.
I don't know. You stay busy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you chit chat, you navigate, I don't know. You check right now. I mean, we've had the moon. Now the moon is getting smaller and smaller, so you get more of the stars.
Shooting star last
stars
night.
have been
That was
incredible.
pretty
We
cool.
were admiring the stars and saw like a beautiful shooting star. So, no, it's you settle down to your pace, and the days go and get in a rhythm. Yeah.
Outremer says, "Watch out! There's an iceberg."
I read. Yeah.
When is Nikki hopping off Awen? Never. We're gonna kidnap her.
Yeah, she doesn't know yet. It's a hostage situation.
We need a top 10 reading list from Seglin. I have to write a little blog. Yeah.
Yeah. Your top 10 from the 240 from 2023.
Yeah. You guys should talk about Cole Brower. Watching the tracker and her stories.
That's the girl, who's doing the Global Solo Challenge. I subscribe to her Instagram, and she does great daily vlogs. Definitely enjoying. During the passage, I haven't watched, but she's great.
Yeah. Why are the Starlink startups so flaky? God only knows. I think there's just not enough satellites, right?
I don't know. One thing is we disabled. We have the standard antenna. I think if we had the other one that was still working, we will have a better connection probably. On the standard antenna, we disabled the motors, typically to have it flat, horizontal, so people tend to say it connects faster. Now the boat is, but in the conditions we've been into, the Starlink was being shaken pretty good. So that probably doesn't help. And I guess my guess is, the satellites, I mean, they're everywhere, but maybe there's a little bit less coverage also in the middle of the Atlantic. So
Question from Mike: how do you get the seagrass off the boards and rudders? I think we've just been plowing through it. Do you feel like we've been dragging any?
No, if you do, I mean, you just lift the board up, and the rudders, you have to probably stop the boat and allow it to drift down and sink.
but they're usually
We haven't had any.
But we haven't had any.
Yeah, they're usually short, because the ones we catch on the hydro generator, they are maybe like this long, and as the boat keeps moving up and down, at times they go away. They only stay in the prop. Sometimes they get caught. So I'm assuming, I mean, we've been feeling for any vibration in the wheel or anything, and so far so good. So I don't think, even if some probably get stuck as the boat moves, they probably go away.
Let's see. Talking risk management, who's given more in, Holly or Stefan? Did Nikki provide the bottom line you were looking for? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, part of the trip was there was different goals, yeah, and one of them is to figure out what is going to be our baseline between Holly and myself at different levels, for how we sail, how we wear our life jackets and safety, and so I think it's great to have Nikki as a sounding board, and naturally we're coming to a conclusion during the trip on what's reasonable to moving forward. And it doesn't mean it will be like forever, whatever we are doing right now, but as we continue to evolve with our sailing capabilities or safety, whatever, we'll make some adjustment that fits both of us.
But I think you've met me halfway on some things, and I think I've gotten more comfortable about some things.
It's fun. Like Nikki is definitely sending Holly on the bow at night and doing sail changes, and it's fun to see you going over there with your life jacket and getting the job done. And so on my side, I mean, we have safety lines all around, and I'm doing a better job to clipping and putting my life jacket when we leave the salon. So
it helps when Nikki said, "This is my hard line," so it makes it my hard line. So now we have sort of discussed the life jacket policy on the boat, and I think everybody's happy with it. That's just one of the things. Do you lock the props in reverse or let them spin? Yeah, they're in reverse for sure, and we haven't been running the propellers, so we actually don't even know if there's seagrass in them, right?
Well, they're closed.
They're closed, like this, okay.
Yeah.
Did you see any differences with the A2 tacked further on the weather side?
Yeah, I mean, you gain quite a few degrees, quite a few, 5 to 10 degrees easily downwind.
Yeah. It's that was the first time I had seen that with the pulled out so far.
Well, I think I've seen people putting it all the way to the bow, so we've been keeping it in between the bow and the bowsprit.
Yeah. Cool. So that's what's going on with us. We'll wrap it up here so Dotty doesn't drain our energy for the night, unless there's any lingering questions. But it's great to check in with everybody. Don't forget, the Miami Boat Show is mid-February. Valentine's Day. I'm getting over this cough. Sorry. And the Outremer Catamarans is hosting a blue water seminar, and we'll be there, and the O'Kellys will be there, and there may be some other folks there too. I'm not exactly sure.
Zatara, which we met, who sailed since Gibraltar all along with us, will be there as well. So
yeah,
if you guys follow any of those channels, definitely stop by Miami. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And if you're in Martinique or planning to be, definitely let us know.
Yeah.
It'll be fun
Yeah.
to meet some of you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, fair winds for now. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy
Bonne
New
année.
Year's.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.